We've got another kind of dish. People are raving about this unique dish that we're going to be making. It's a vegetarian dish that combines tart and sweet flavors with a bit of a Mediterranean flair. And here with the recipe is the author of classic Lebanese cuisine, Chef Kamal Al-Faqih.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You brought so much good-looking stuff today.
A lot of things to try.
A lot of things, yeah, a lot indeed. But what's the main thing we're going to be making?
The main thing we're going to make are these kibbeh. Kibbeh is the national dish of Lebanon, so we're going to make these kibbeh balls, and this is the other form of it, which is a kibbeh tray.
Oh, I see. All right.
We're going to actually be making the kibbeh balls.
Wow. And how do we make the kibbeh balls?
We start with, at home, you'd start with, the recipe is predominantly pumpkin, which you can just buy in the grocery store, you know, the canned pumpkin.
Right, sure.
You mix it with bulgur wheat and some spices. You let that sit overnight, pass it through a meat grinder the following day, and then you portion it into quarter-cup portions, roll it out to like a 3-inch sort of cylinder, cut that in half. It actually makes them the perfect size to start hollowing.
If you don't have a meat grinder,
you know, you could use a food processor. I specifically use a meat grinder because if you've never made kibbeh before, it would sort of hard to understand when to stop hitting it with the food processor.
right? Because you have to have a certain texture.
Right. So when you put it through the meat grinder, actually grinds the bulgur wheat and it gives you this really nice dough. So
this is cool.
And this is a very traditional Lebanese dish.
Yeah, except traditionally it's made with lamb.
Oh, I see.
So this
is
I've taken it and it becomes completely vegetarian. And what you do is the two different forms. You either fill them with some sort of filling. We're going to be filling it today with sautéed onions, pomegranate molasses, and fresh pomegranates with walnuts.
Wow, sounds great.
So it's really it's a really delicious, and not only is it vegetarian, this one happens to be completely vegan. So it's really
good.
And
Well,
let's just like a lot of the Lebanese.
So how do you get started? Obviously, we've run this through the processor.
This is we ran this in the interest of time. We sort of ran it through the processor. So we're going to grab a kibbeh ball. You just
thank you.
You need a little bit of water. You just sort of wet your palm. Now this takes a little. And you just literally you just push your finger in. And you sort of
because you've got to make room for the filling.
So we do that, and then one more time.
I used to do this with olives when I was a kid.
You know, look, that's really quite good, though.
Right.
So give you one more time, and then look, and then you start pushing it up against your palm.
Oh, I see. So we're making quite a nice sized cavity.
Right, because we really want we want a nice sized cavity, so we have room for plenty of good filling.
Right. Okay.
And then we're just going to bring this over.
And once again, what's in here?
This is sautéed onions, pomegranate molasses, fresh pomegranate, and walnuts. And then spices, you know, salt, pepper, allspice.
Here, I'll trade with you.
Well, let me see if I can stuff it without making a mess.
We're just going to close it.
I think I put too much in there.
I'm still making a mess.
No, it's okay. You know what? It takes a little getting used to. So
there you go.
So we just take these and
we're going to fry them.
We're going to fry these.
What kind of oil do you use?
I use canola oil.
Okay. Is that the kind you use? Is there
I do. I love, you can use peanut oil. I just, for some reason, I really love
it's nice and light.
Canola. It's very light.
Well, while you're doing that, can I ask you about some of these other items? Are these all things that are sort of typical to Lebanese cuisine?
Yes. What we did was, this kibbeh, this is part of what's meza, and Lebanese cuisine is famous for meza, which is small hors d'oeuvres, finger foods. So we have, over here, we have these pomegranate beef and cheese pies. So this is ground beef with yogurt cheese and fresh pomegranates and pomegranate molasses.
Okay.
This is a spinach triangle. It's called fatayr in Arabic. It's fresh. It's fresh lemon juice, lemon zest, spinach. Also, this is completely vegan. Baba ganoush, which is smoked eggplant.
I've had that.
Love that.
Pita chips for the baba ganoush.
Of course, right.
Stuffed grape leaves. So this has the rice and all the vegetables.
I
Also
like those too. They're really delicious.
Good old baklava.
Yeah.
And then these are glazed anise fingers.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen those before.
Yeah, these are actually quite good. It's 3 different types of dough with olive oil, and then you make them into these little anise fingers. They're deep fried and glazed.
So now once we've dropped the kibbeh balls in the boiling water there, oil I should say, how long does it take for them
You know what, just a couple of minutes. I've heated the oil to 375. I'm a big believer in using a candy fry thermometer, then you never have to guess what the temperature of the oil is.
Because even just a few degrees off one way or the other can ruin it.
But what happens is when it's a little too cool, it seems to poach in there, and then when it's too hot, it fries too fast.
Burns
so, and I've been cooking for a long time. I love these.
Were those little spinach guys made today?
These guys were not made today.
Okay, then I won't.
But these guys were all made yesterday.
Okay.
Just in the interest of time again.
Well, they look good.
Yeah.
Spencer's trying to figure out what his meal's going to be this afternoon.
Exactly.
Well,
Really,
no,
more
the good thing
importantly.
is, everything is. The good thing is all these things that I've chosen, they're really good at room temperature.
Yeah, yeah.
And as a matter of fact, the kibbe is really, the vegetarian kind like this is really good at room temperature.
Now, can you assemble these? Like, can you get it to this point, like the day before or anything? I know when people are trying to plan parties for the holidays, it's hard to try to cook everything on the day of the party.
You know what? You're right. And you can make these weeks in advance and freeze them unfried.
Oh, that's
and the
right.
tray you can make and freeze it unbaked. And actually, I talk about that because I totally agree. Like when you're making a party,
You got enough to worry about on the day of the party.
Right, so you can make a lot of this stuff in advance, keep it in the freezer. Baba ganoush you can make days in advance and keep it refrigerated.
Sometimes that even tastes better if it's had a little while to set.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I do a lot of things where I make them in advance and let them sit, especially things in olive oil with tomato. It tastes so much better.
I should remind our viewers that the recipe for the kibbe balls is on our website, along with for some of the other dishes as well.
Right.
All the information about your book is there.
Great.
Chef Kamal, this is great. This is excellent. We will eat this during the commercial break.
I'll eat it now. It's good, too. Thank you.
Right now.